good afternoon, good evening. I don't know what time you're watching this, but we are so thankful that you are watching it. We appreciate you coming here, stopping by, and subscribing to our channel. My name is Raz, and this is,
Vilma,
and we together are doing the fourth
our fourth episode.
episode.
Yep,
So we appreciate those who have watched it before, that are watching it right now, and again, subscribe. It will help us. And we
they did. They're subscribing. They're giving us like we from 62 viewers, 43 have subscribed. That is awesome. Let's bring those numbers up.
we
Wow.
appreciate that. We thought
Yes.
that nobody's gonna watch this,
Yeah.
but
You're encouraging us. Thank you.
we just want to keep going. We have a lot of things in mind that we want to do, and sincerely, we appreciate you coming here and stopping by. It's an honor to be here speaking to you, that you're listening to us and to the ordeals that we are going to through right now. And my wife and I are so glad to be here, and we're going to talk about the intruder today, like
Yep.
I left off last time, which is the gallbladder, because it has nothing to do with the heart, but I had an issue with it, and we're going to dissect that a little bit today. So thank you for watching again.
It's an opportunity to open your eyes, or especially you guys, because and us girls, because I had no idea the rating of heart issues for the ladies, and how we don't know how to tell the difference, because we are warriors, and we think that we had the answer to everything, and sometimes a stomach ache is not really a stomach ache. It has to do with the heart.
No, it was a chest pain.
And chest pains is sometimes it's not gas,
Yeah.
it's the heart. And for you, it was a terrible chest pain that ended up being a bad diagnosis, and
Actually, there was no diagnosis. Nobody
it was
was even thinking
confusing.
about it. I was not thinking about it, and it's been going. It was been going on. Is that right? It was been going on. No, that's wrong.
That's wrong
It
English.
was well.
It was
We're
on
not experts here. We just what I want to say that it was happening for a long time since
frequently.
2025, the beginning when I started, when I shared on the other episode about that pain, and that I did everything, and the doctor tells me, the cardiologist tells me, you're okay, you should be fine. But I 2 weeks later I called him and said I'm not fine. And moving forward ahead, I did two, at the end, mid 2025, I did one catheter. They did one stent, and I had an emergency. I went in because the pain was too much, and then they thought it was the heart. They went in and they did one stent, and then the doctor said, I cannot do both at the same time. You need another one, so keep your appointment, because I didn't make it to the appointment I had, as I explained on the other episode. And I did the other appointment 2 weeks after that, and I came out of those the same way I came in. And as well, when I did the third one, which was this year, 2026, and with a different doctor, I did the exams, everything, the stress test and all the other tests that come along with it, checking the heart, of course, but never knowing that it was also the gallbladder, because the pain was coming and going, and it was really sharp, and it was on the right hand side, right here below my rib cage. And I got, a little bit concerned, because it was unbearable. I couldn't sleep, I couldn't lay down flat. I mean, my wife can tell you my pillow's all
Yeah.
crooked, because I'm using like 3 or 4 pillows to make myself comfortable for me to sleep. But moving forward a little bit, I did the other, like I said, catheter, and they went in. They couldn't do nothing. That was about the beginning of this year, and then, make a long story short, you can watch the other episode that I talk about what happened there. one night I was here in pain, was trying to go to bed, and I had an appointment for the gastroendocrinologist. That was a follow-up on that I also mentioned on a diverticulitis problem that I had that had nothing to do with all of this, but it's below my belly button. That was a pain that I had there. But this pain was so sharp that I lay down. I couldn't, be at ease. All the medications. I begged the cardiologist, because he told me to just take one pill a day. And I said, can you do it two? Because 12 hours it wears out, and I am feeling bad again. I can't sleep. And he told me to take it in the morning. By night, evening, I was in pain. So, make a long story short, I just decided, I told my wife I actually stormed out of the house and went outside and sat outside and thought about it. And I said, listen, I'm going to drive myself out, to the hospital. And my wife was like, no, you're not doing that. It was about, 11, 10 o'clock.
This is for the caregivers that usually are over, like they don't exist. My issue at that time was, and if you had that issue,
I was gonna get there. Yeah.
Is you can not let him drive by himself. You don't know what's gonna happen, especially when he has a diagnosis of the heart. But later I discovered, and the reason why I said please don't go now is because I cannot drive at night, and then taking him to the hospital, and we have already been to the hospital, and they keep dismissing him because we didn't know it was a gallbladder, the intruder who confused all these things. And thank God that this time around,
No,
we made it to the hospital, but we had no education until my husband
no,
decided.
because let me get there, because I was convinced because of I talked to the surgeon, the heart surgeon. He told me I couldn't do the surgery no more. I was ready to do it for my heart, right? The bypass. And because my friend did it, and I thought I can do it too, but he told me no, you can't do it. And then, but he asked me a key
question about how really was the pain.
We want to cut
Describe
this
the
and
pain.
start again.
And no, we
You can
they
cut off.
understand. They understand. So what happens is that we later.
No, let me follow the thread here. So, yeah, because
Today is one of those days.
yeah,
But in reality, listen, caregivers, listen to this. We had no idea that when you have stones, your body, of course, is a foreign thing inside of you. It reacts.
yeah, but I want to set
Yeah.
the stage for what happens, because like you said, we're thinking about the heart, and then the surgeon told me, what kind of pain do you have? Because he said, you seem like your heart, you could have you'd still have some function, you're not all the way clogged up. There's two arteries that are still working somehow, somewhat. And then that triggered to me, like, is there, I thought about it. Why would he say that? And then I did some research. Can anything else cause chest pain, in your body? So then I found out that 3 doctors, on YouTube, that, I found one, they were talking about it, and I believe it's colitis or something like that. Colitis is the pain that is caused by stone in the gallbladder. And there was another one, and there was another one. They're describing the same thing. So I said, honey, and they say that the pain comes and goes. It depends on the movement on the stones inside of your gallbladder.
So if you have your gallbladder removed, we can relate to you. We know the torture you went through, because I had mine also removed many times. Drove myself to the emergency room, and they go, "There's nothing wrong with you." And I'm like, "Are you kidding me? I'm in so much pain." Go home. You okay?
And she never mentioned anything, because I know she had done the surgery like 10 years ago or so.
I don't think that long, but yeah. It's been a while.
But she doesn't have any heart issues. So my case, everything is like the heart,
including us.
Yeah. Me, including, yeah, me.
Yeah.
Which but then I started thinking about it, and I said, listen, honey, well, let's drive. And, she told you the story. She didn't want me to drive, and she drove me over there. Thank you, honey. Caregiver. And then I stayed in the hospital, and I told her to come home because we have Airbnb, and she had to take care of that next day. So it was going to be hard for her not to sleep in the hospital. There's no way she can sleep there. So I said, I'm okay, honey, let me deal with this. So I got in because I said, I have chest pain. You tell them I have chest pain, boom. They take you in right away. They do AKG and all the 9 yards, whatever, and hook you up. And I saw the nurse, and I said, listen, I know my heart, the issue with my heart. It's been settled. I'm dealing with that, but I want you today, please focus on my gallbladder. And the doctor came later, and he listened to me, and I begged him. I said, listen, do whatever you want with the heart, all the exams you want, but I already know that, nothing can be done. But would you please focus on the gallbladder? And I told him what I have done, the research and all that, and the kind of pain that I have. And he looked at me like, he didn't say it, but he's like, who are you to self-diagnose yourself, especially through YouTube? But here we are talking about where? In YouTube. But anyways, so he did. My wife left. I told her, call me, and she did, and she got home, and I stayed, and he ordered 3 tests. He ordered a X-ray of my chest, and he ordered a ultrasound on my gallbladder side, right? And another test, I think, is CT scan. So.
And there were.
I was hold on, this is not over. I have a lot to say about this in the hospital. I was there. They did, the X-ray was okay. It was late at night. There was a lot of people with more emergency than me, so it took a little while for them to take me in. Did the X-ray right away. They did the CT scan, and I just was laying there. They put you, you got to lay in there and go through a pipe, and that was excruciating pain right there. And I told the guy, I can't take it no more. He said, oh, there's only 4 minutes left. Hang in there. So I had another episode of that pain. So I came out of there, and they just brought me back into the room. That was I was there from maybe 11 o'clock until 3 o'clock in the morning. So by the time he came, like 3:30, he said, yep, you used to have some issues with your gallbladder, and you're all right. I said, well, YouTube is right. Anyways, so he ordered another test.
Which brings me to the next point.
Let me finish the test.
You will. So, which brings me to the other, just to go here in a different, just a little bit in a different direction. Parenthesis. If you had an experience or something similar that perhaps we didn't mention, for the sake of the people who are listening, maybe we would not mention it here, but they can read it in the comments. That would be great, because sometimes we think that we gave all the details, but then you had a different experience and you can add on. It's, life is like a puzzle. We all hold a little piece of the puzzle, and when we put them together, we can help each other, because these are the days that sometimes the doctors are so overwhelmed, or like we said in the last video, they're so tuned in to one issue. And when you hear somebody else with an input that they have walked a mile in that situation, it gives you heads up. So you don't, like, I was desperate. I was like, oh my gosh, what if I don't take him, if he gets worse, and if he drives himself, what if he dies in the street? I mean, the caregivers going through so much
at
of this.
Thinking I'm gonna die.
Well, he has a heart issue. Anyway, so we are I pray to God you don't, but because here you are. But interesting enough, those details, because if he would have not gone to YouTube and find those inputs there, right now he would have gone into the emergency room and he would not have the language. He would not know how to say.
It was unbearable. I couldn't take it no
Please.
more. That was unbearable. I said, if this is a heart, I'm having a heart attack, I would have been dead because I had a heart attack before and it was not that sharp of a pain like this one. But anyway, so after that, I did those 3 exams. He came back and agreed with me, and here I am. I'm not a doctor, okay? Whatever we're saying is my experience. Like my wife says, there might be something different happening to you.
Yeah.
I don't want to say you do this or do that. I have no credentials to tell you what to do. I'm explaining my story to you and how it happened. And unfortunately, I was living with this for about a year, and I didn't know that I could have solved this or any other doctor. I was a little mad at the other doctor, cardiologist, why they didn't guide me somewhere else. I said, hey, everything with the heart it's okay. It's not 100%, but it's not that bad. Why don't you go somewhere else and check it out? So that was never done, and I feel it was and there was a little bit of negligence on their part. But anyway, so he ordered, going back to the ER, he ordered another test, which is a little similar to an x-ray. You stay there for an hour, they take a picture, and they want to see how your gallbladder is functioning without any food or without any fat, because its function is to deal with fat.
And one detail. The doctor, he knew that I had to come because we do have a short-term rental, which we're going to talk to you about that. And interesting enough, he called me and he says, you know what? I'm going to have to keep him overnight. So do your thing, and I will contact you tomorrow. And it was like,
You're talking about the surgeon, right?
We're talking about when you went and they kept you because they found out that what you came in saying to them pinned down. And it was true.
Yeah, but that was later because this doctor, we didn't know him yet at that time.
Well, this is one doctor. Then we went the second time.
Okay. But anyways, let me finish the story. The story is that they do the tests, the 4th test, which was about 5 o'clock in the morning. And the lady said, you're going to be here for a while. And I was happy because I was laying down. I hadn't slept. I took a little nap, actually, for an hour. I didn't even see the time go by. And she said, after this first section is done, we'll
detail.
You weren't there. How can you see anything?
But also, when you had those pains, you cannot sleep flat.
Yeah,
so the
I was in a hospital bed. Yeah,
that's important detail.
But anyway, so
recliners.
Going back to the
invest in a recliner in your house. Those recliners can help a lot.
So I took the first. They did the first step, which she said it's going to be twofold. One, the first is without food or anything, the way you are. And the second one, we're going to give you a fatty shake, an Ensure, I think is the name of it. I never had that before, but it was not bad. Then she gave it to me and she said, now we're going to see how your gallbladder is functioning. And if I don't see the gallbladder itself, it means that it's all clogged up and it's really bad. But it ended up not being that bad, but she said, yeah, you do have gallbladder stones. But the technician cannot give a diagnosis. She said, you talk to the doctor and he will tell you. So anyways, make a long story short, I got out of there, went back to the room. They, the doctor came back and finally I saw the ER doctor, and he told me, there's, even if you have an issue with your gallbladder, it's not something urgent that we're not going to do it here. You should have done it outside, blah, 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 blah. But I was so glad they did all the tests, because if I do those tests outside, it would take at least a week to get all lined up, to go to different places to do all those tests. So we did it there. They left me there another day. I had to talk to the cardiologist. They gave me the same song and dance because I already knew what was I was up to. And then they recommended the surgeon to call the surgeon, gallbladder surgeon. So uh, he we got in contact with him. They said make an appointment with him, and um, actually, so I was still in pain, managing it, taking it easy, and it was about a week later. So I went finally to see him, and he gave me a diagnosis. Yep, he had all the exams, and he was an expert. He could see all of that, and he said, yep, we need to remove it. But the thing is, I'm very busy, and this is a elective surgery. It's not an emergency. So I was like, oh my Lord. And they said, we have an appointment for about 6 weeks out.
Did he use the word elective?
Yeah, it's an elective surgery. So
I thought that
it's not an emergency. Otherwise, he would have to do it right there and then. So get the insurance together and this and that. But
and you had to be put through a protocol for your medication, your heart medication.
Yeah, but that was before the surgery. But anyways, at that time, he gave me two options. He said, we can do that. That's plan A. Plan B, if you have an episode, you're in pain, just go to the emergency room again. And then here's my number, call me. And I have my team at the hospital, and they will go and see you. Just give me your bracelet, all your information. And that was my wife that had all that information. So, and the phone, she was calling him and all that. So, at the second time we went in, and then we are.
That very same afternoon.
Yeah,
after
the same.
we saw
I had
him.
an appointment. I had an episode. My belly was bloating up. I had some bloating, but I didn't have that kind of bloating. It was really hurting, and my belly was like a drum. I could beat on it. It sounded
that was scary.
hollow. Yeah, and then I had the pain also, and actually, we got there, and that's how this next episode. I went there and I told them what happened before. They knew all about it. It was about a week later. The same emergency room, different doctor. So the doctor's order, he wasn't around. He was busy somewhere. ERs get really busy. So he wasn't around, but I told the nurse, I said, listen, I'm in pain, but this is about the gallbladder and this and that. But, the nurse was like, I don't know if we can do anything about it. You already came here and whatever. But thank God the doctor listened, and he gave me some painkillers. And then they ordered another x-ray and a ultrasound. So I did the x-ray, no problem. They took me there. The second time, they took me to the ultrasound. And they took me into it's far away. The kids have to haul you in there. And this girl was by herself in the room, and I had an attack. When I was laying down there, she was doing the ultrasound. I got up, I stood up, and I told the girl, I said, I can't do this. And she said, oh, wait, I only have like 3 or 4 minutes to go. I'm almost there. I need 1 or 2 more pictures. And I was there, and I said, please. And she was scared because I was in pain, really in pain. I had to stand up, get out of the bed, the bed, and she was, by herself. She was a little girl, and I'm a bigger guy. And she just shut the door and took me back and didn't even call the runners, the kids that come and pick you up. And she took me back, and I was in pain and all of that, and I guess the doctor saw me on my way there. I didn't know who he was. And then he came in later on, and he sat down on the chair. I mean, I thought that was weird. They usually are in distress, but he said, hey, I knew you were in pain. I ordered some painkillers for you. And I said, yeah, thank you. And I was glad, though, that episode happened because, there's times that I don't feel nothing. And, I didn't want them to think, oh, this guy is faking it. It's like, no, it was real. The first time and the second time that I was in the ER. So he just sat down and looked at me and said, Mr. Polacco, I'm going to ask you this anyways, but I know the answer. Do you think this pain you have is from the heart? I said, no, sir. This is not the heart. I had heart attacks before, and I know what that pain is like. This is totally different. And it can be confused because it's chest pain, but it's on my right hand side, and the heart attacks go up here on your shoulder, and and it's really painful. The first time I had a heart attack, that's how I felt. And this is totally different. It's down below. So, anyways, he said, "Well, I have this doctor." Then he recommended the doctor, the surgeon, and he said he's a good surgeon. He did remove my wife's gallbladder, and I really trust him. And you should, get in contact with him. So later on, the cardiologist on duty came, and they talked to me, and they released me that day. And I mean, not released me. They said, no, I'm sorry. They kept me that time. They kept me, and my wife called the doctor. He was really, really nice, and he said, no, just I already have all the information. Keep in touch with my people that's going to be there. I was one, what's they say, nurse practitioner that was on his team, and she came around, I don't know, in the wee hours of the morning. And she said, yeah, we're going to keep you, but the doctor he is busy, and he has surgery every day almost, and he's going to look in the schedule and see where he can fit you. But, most likely, that was like Sunday night into Monday night, no, I mean Monday morning, and they said it's going to be probably on Wednesday. So we're going to take you to a place and a room. You're going to wait there overnight and maybe stay there tomorrow, and then and Wednesday they're gonna do the surgery. But I was there Monday morning, and my wife calls me. You called me, right? And because the doctor had called you, and he said that, yeah, I can do the surgery today. And I was like, oh man, I haven't even psyched up myself to have surgery.
You don't need to do that.
I was staying in a hotel right now for one day. And I gonna have surgery?
No.
He came, and then he came around at 10 o'clock and said, hey buddy, how are you? And I said, well, hanging in there. He said, yeah, I'm gonna get you in like around 11. You got to go in and prep and shave and all that stuff, and because I have a lot of hair, body hair. So they shaved me and took me in and did the surgery around 11 or so. I got there around 1:30 and went back to the room, stayed overnight, and they did like the minimum incisions, just 3 holes in your belly button, one of them. And he told me that they blow some air so they can lift up the skin and get to the gallbladder. So that's what happened there. And then I was on observation all night. It was not a good night. I could barely, move on the chair because it really hurt.
One detail about that. When I had my gallbladder removed, they do it as an outpatient and they send you home. So I want to thank, if anybody from the team at the hospital watch this, I want to thank you because you kept him overnight because of his heart issue. Because prior to this surgery, this very same doctor told us that they couldn't rush the surgery because when you are in medication for your heart, and there is a protocol they have to follow because they don't want you to bleed to death.
Blood thinners, yeah.
And that was scary because that early that day he has given us all the instructions and the reason why they couldn't just put him in and all that. But the pain got so great that he ended up in the emergency room, and next day they started doing the surgery. So I have heard what he has said the day before. So I'm not there because I had to be here, and I was concerned. I was very, very, very concerned. So now he calls. It felt like it was 15 minutes, and I was so concerned because I thought something went really wrong because that was too quick.
You mean 15 minutes after what?
It felt like he called like 15 minutes after you went into surgery.
Oh.
So when he called,
the doctor called. Okay.
Yeah, he called me. He goes, hey, everything is good. It was easy, and it wasn't that much blood, and everything is under control. I'm going to keep him overnight, and we'll see you tomorrow. And I'm like, wow. So medicine has evolved a lot, a lot. And I wanna, I wanna say that I never knew because when I was having my pain, and like he said, it comes and it goes. The problem is that when those stones move, if you had that issue, you understand, it's so painful. It's
I'm glad
so
you can
painful
relate to me. At least one thing.
on that,
I don't
right?
wish the heart issue on you.
No,
For the
please don't.
gallbladder, we can relate.
Oh la la. But you know, and if you actually talking about the heart, because that's who we are, between the heart, between the
The rock
rock
and the
and the
hard
heart
place.
place. Um, Believe it or not, you know, life can be so stressful. And that's one of the things that I know it took a toll on my husband. A lot of stress of situations that happen in our lives. And interesting enough, some of you need to control your temper, because when you have a very strong temper, that takes a toll on you. Another thing that can take a toll on you, health for your heart, is dental work. If you don't visit a dentist frequently, that can create a big problem for you with your blood work, and it takes a toll on your heart. So it's many things that can open the door as we are learning about this, because we want to prepare to be able to talk to you guys about how to avoid it, how to recognize it, and give you heads up in certain things. And by the way, this is something I learned from a dentist, talking about, oh my God, when you have a terrible toothache. This dentist told me, well, we're not open 24/7. So what you can do is a home remedy. And I says, please tell me, what is it? Take a little bit of baking soda, a little bit of salt, and put a couple of drops of peroxide, and make a little paste of it, and just take your toothbrush and brush your tooth that is hurting with it. It's not going to work right away, but by for the until you get to my office, it's going to alleviate you. And I tried it and it works. So there's a little tip: a little bit of a little bit of baking soda, a little bit of salt, and to use as a mixer the peroxide, and you have a remedy that will control it until you get to the dentist's office. But go to the dentist, look after yourself, because it's only one of you. And when you are in that predicament, at the time they diagnosis, at the time they find it, you might not be as lucky. And for goodness sake, do a annual exam. Do your annual exam so you can learn. This guy, when I married him, he did not understood the importance of doing that. And you need to know your body. God forbid you make it to the emergency room and you don't know what's going on with your body. You putting them in a pickle, and you putting yourself in a very bad predicament, because if you at least know what's going on with yourself, when you get there, they have a record, you have the education, and you can talk with them, not at them. And this is what my husband did. My husband didn't talk at them, but they spoke. He knew the language thanks to something that he heard on YouTube. And doctors, don't get upset, but sometimes we don't have these conversations, and this is a conversation that needs to happen, because whether it's a heart transplant that we're facing right now, or any kind of transplant of organs in your body, is invasive. Is We're going to go into that come now May. We're going to start learning about whether he is a candidate or not. We're going to learn about what does it entails, and it looks like the preparation for it is very intense. I have no clue. I have no idea how that's going to go, but of course we're going to share that with you. And
But also, to make a long story short, the intruder was the gallbladder.
in this case,
And I am glad that that is out of the way. And now we have to deal with the heart issue. And I was confused myself. I don't know what's the heart. And I wish it would be like, oh, okay, the problem is gone. I don't have no more pain. It's not true.
No.
I still have pain. I can't, do any heavy lifting or anything out of the ordinary. I have to take it easy, and I'm taking painkillers for specifically for that, for angina pain, and I still have to do that. But now I know for sure is the heart. There's nothing else, and I'm glad that's out of the way. I was, confused myself all this time, and this is our story about the intruder, the gallbladder. That's my case. It doesn't
Mm-hmm.
mean that everybody else, but be on the lookout for that, and then really study your symptoms, exactly what you're feeling. And like my wife says, when I had the first heart attack, I was not going. Well, I was going to the doctors. Like I said, they were checking me for my lungs, and ended up being a heart attack. And the doctor, I asked him, I said, how can I trust you to take care of my wife if you didn't take care of me? And it was like, oh, okay. I messed up, but you were telling me that you couldn't breathe or whatever. He thought it was the lungs. And thank you for pursuing that, but that was not the direction to go. And now we know it was the heart.
But
Then now we know it's the heart and the gallbladder. So
I'm gonna step in there for a little bit. When him and I got to see each other because he was my doctor, he said to me, I would have never expected for someone so young to have such a incredible, intense heart issue.
I was 49 at that time.
And this is the thing. They're humans, and it happens. It doesn't mean that it's an excuse for them. It's not a get out of jail free card, because life is not a game of Monopoly. But honestly, you need to look after yourself, and you need to talk to your doctor. You need to communicate, even when they're in such a rush. And if he doesn't have ears to hear you, change your doctor. Change your doctor, because that precious doctor, he stepped down because he didn't feel good, but the system had him so worn out that he was listening and not listening, and it was there is something going on, and it's not in our favor. So we need to gather together and work together, for our sake, and learn as much as we can from each other to help each other. So when we go to a doctor, and you do find a good doctor, like I'm sorry, I forgot to put in the description on the last video, that precious doctor that now does the surgery through the side, and if you need a heart
Surgeon.
surgeon, um, you don't have to go through all the things that my husband went through,
Through the
because
sternum. They go
yeah,
through the
through the
through
side.
the ribs.
Yeah, so I would put that in this description on this video. um, I don't want to brag and then be disappointed, but a lot of people fly in to come to South Miami because there is a lot of good doctors here, and we have been blessed that we have stumbled into some of them. And I'm just, happy about that. So last time we spoke about how we got ready, and we were ready for 3 months, and some people stepped in. This time we got ready for 6 months, and he's been out of work since January. So it's like, golly. Now, we have applied for disability. We did not know that this could take forever. So as a way for us to bring in some income, we have two venues. I hope you took the time to see it in the last video. We created a little store that has the beautiful ideas for Mother's
We
Day.
didn't. She did. She
Well,
did.
I need his approval because he has good taste
I
about
am
certain
a
things.
dummy when it comes to computers.
Well, the computer, yeah. But when it came to put the merchandise together, we worked together at it. And I don't know where that's gonna go, but Mommy's Days is coming soon, and we put some packages together. So you're not only gonna be giving a gift, but you're gonna be helping us. Also, we put a commercial as well about, we have
Short-term rental.
short-term rental in the most beautiful side of Florida. So we would like for you to see that. We've been doing that for a while, and that's another sort of income because we don't know what's going to happen. But my husband is not lying when he's telling you. We know for a fact he cannot go to work because he can't even walk out the door. You know, so that was something we were never expecting. That was something that just found out. But I am so proud of my husband that he had decided that instead of going to a corner to feel sorry for himself, he came out with this idea of the podcast, and I just came along to support him. But you know, I have a marketing background, and the more I went into that first podcast and I went to the second podcast and I saw you respond, I said, you know, what if he is onto something? And once again, there is a way that we don't have to be concerned about our income. I did not know that by you becoming a subscriber and looking forward to see the next one by just hitting the bell. So it's only 3 steps and they don't cost you nothing. They are for free. Just subscribe, like, and there is a bell, and choose all. So every time we put a video up, it will let you know that our new video is there. And as we said, we're going to try to do one every week. Let's hope that we don't have any episodes and any more intruders. But so far so good.
Yeah, we are almost, and we need to get to 50 so we can do lives, and we want to do live interviews with
Yeah.
people, that are not close to us because we cannot travel and it's going to be expensive. But we also have people already lined up, a couple that is close to us that he had the surgery right after us.
3 months after you.
Yeah, no, a month.
A
I even
month.
went to go see him after I had surgery in Mount
comfort
Sinai,
him. Mhm.
and he is a dear friend to us. And his wife was my wife's hairdresser.
She became as a hairdresser, and she became my Mexican sister. I love
so
you.
we're gonna hopefully get them together. We already spoke with them, and we have another lady that's dear to us that we also want to interview her. You're gonna like her. We both love her.
Yeah.
We call her, we're not going to spoil, we're not
Yeah.
going to say who it is. It might not happen. I mean, she is 94 years
She
old.
just celebrated her 94th year.
Yeah,
birthday.
and she will tell you she's 94 in 3 days or 4 days. That's how important that
precious.
is to her. So she is lovely, and you're going to like her. And I'm looking forward to that. And don't grow old. If you grow old, you're going to have issues like we do. So
Actually, what you don't need to do is embrace depression.
embrace what?
Do not embrace depression.
Oh, yeah.
Do not. No matter
It's
what's
not worth
going
it.
on. And these people that my husband's talking to you about the interview, that's one of the things that I love about them. They have heart issues, the two of them. And they look at life like warriors. And they have made a decision, like my husband, that every day here does count. And what you do with that day is up to you. It's not up to you medical condition. It's up to you, because this one right here has a lot of power. The Bible says we need a renewal of the mind.
Amen.
And one of the things is you have to learn to be on the scriptures and not on the script of your enemy in this earth. We have an enemy, and it's called fear. It's called lack of knowledge. It's lack of encouragement. And I hope if you are watching this and you are in a corner, it doesn't have to be about your heart. It could be about any illness that you just got a terrible diagnosis. And you really are so out of your mind and you're feeling so terrible. I can relate.
We hear you.
And I understand when we went to the doctor and my husband was in so much pain, and we didn't know about the intruder. And my husband looked at the doctor and he said to him, if this pain continues, how long I can take this? And he goes, well, with the medication, you could be here for a year. And the first thing that came to my mind was, when did God die and left you in charge? And remember, I love this doctor, but he wasn't thinking about the gallbladder. So imagine if we would not have this foundation that we hold on to God so tight, we would not be able to have the boldness or the encouragement to be here in front of you to share that with you. And I'm telling you, in the midst of your storm, just hold on to God. Just hold on to Him, because He can do miracles. And I can't wait till we go and see the people that are going to be looking after my husband to see if he is a candidate for a heart transplant. And I'm going to ask them if there is a way they can give me a picture to show you that God is in the miracle business, because my husband's body created his own bypass. So when you hear that term that it says, I'm holding on to a string of life, I'm holding by a string,
being held by a string,
that to me is not just
it was a tiny little vein. I mean, but it's nothing compared to an artery. But
no, but it's holding
the
him.
heart just shoots it out and then try to make a way to where they needs to go.
Remember what I told you, that 11 years ago, this precious doctor that I love so much, he came in the room and he said, see, these are the things that textbooks do not explain. So don't lose sight. Don't lose faith. Don't lose your mind, because God is in the miracle business and He can come in the middle of your storm. Just let Him in. Just give Him a chance, because we have, and we see, and I want to share that with you. So I hope they do allow me to get a picture that is clear so you can see it and you can be encouraged.
If this podcast has reached your heart, that's our intention, and it would help us a lot to know who you are. Just leave a comment, and if you are interested in being part of our podcast, we can look at your story, and if it's fits what we are trying to do here, we would love to at least look at your story. And if you want to be part of it, and this touched you and hit home, because I know a lot of people out there, and they are with issues, not only with the heart, maybe kidneys and lungs, all the kinds of transplants. And we might bring other people here that have different issues, and especially that deals with transplant. And we want to learn from all of you. I mean, the world is a big place. So I know of a lot of people out there might be in the same distress or in the same issue. And if you're a caregiver or whatever you are going through at this point, I hope it touches you. I hope that we have send a message that God is in control. And I'm like my wife says, depression is not a place to be, because they keep asking me, are you depressed? Since I had the first surgery, are you depressed? I said, no, I'm thankful that I'm alive.
Amen.
And whatever I have, I cannot be crying about spilled milk. If I still have the cup half full, I'm gonna look at it half full. Even if I have a quarter, I'm gonna fight for the quarter. So that's what God gave me. And the name of God in Hebrew means Yah, is the breath. Yahweh, we call it in English, but in Hebrew it doesn't have a vowel, so it means is the breath. And this breath that God gave me, I'm not going to take it away. I'm going to let Him take it away. Amen. And until that day, I'm going to live to the fullest. And and if you don't believe in God, I feel sorry for you, because at this point in time, I know my wife is a great partner, but like we said before, it's a triangle. It's me, vertical, horizontal,
God is above us.
with my wife, and vertical is God between us both. and that's our source of strength to go through all of this. And that's what we want to convey. We don't want to be a religious channel, but we have a relationship with God, and we appreciate Him, and we believe in the Bible, yes. And I hope it doesn't turn you off, but if it does, I hope you tune in.
Actually, I have a suggestion. The Bible, if you take the word Bible and you keep all those letters, capital letters, and you put a period between them,
An acronym.
yeah, it really stands for basic instructions before leaving Earth. The Bible was the first book, and there is so much guidance. Some people said, my God, there is no manual how to raise a child. Well, my mother used to read the Proverbs to me, and there is a lot of wisdom in the Proverbs. So basic instructions before leaving Earth is there. The answers are there. And there is so much more that word can do so much to change your life, to make things turn around in such a way that you never thought, that you never, you might never went there. And you don't know if it's suitable for you until you try it. And nobody can stop you, because now you can go in the internet and you can start. I advise you to start in the book of John. It's such an awesome book, the book of John. And we're going to leave it here. We're not going to keep talking, because this body, God made it. And God has the answers, and God is sharing secrets with His precious doctors, and they're evolving because God is revealing it to them. And look at us, where we're at, because that God allowed them anesthesia. When you read the book of Genesis, it says that God made Adam go to sleep. Now we know that is anesthesia. So the doctors have learned a lot of things. And we want to pray for you, and honestly we want to know what to pray about, and we're not going to know if you don't share. But be encouraged, and don't let depression get a hold of you. Don't allow it to drag you there. And you are so beautifully and perfectly made, no matter what's happening in your life. You are so unique. Yes. That's why you have your own fingerprints. God doesn't make mass production. You got your unique, not only your fingerprints, but even the frame of your mouth doesn't match as anyone else. And that's how unique and precious and valuable you are. So don't let anything or anyone or any situation take away from you your worth.
And one fact is for sure, we're going to all leave this earth. And all we're saying here, we're going to fight until that day comes. And we don't know the hour, we don't know exactly, no. But we have to cross these hurdles that are not easy to cross. And we're not saying it is. And we're not want to depress you. We want to encourage you to understand that there is hope, and that we can look at it and say, hey, we could be mad at God and say, hey, why you let me go through this? Sometimes you got to ask, why me? Because you have a purpose in what you want to do in our lives. Sometimes we're just driving our lives so focused on ahead, money, business, fame, or whatever you're chasing right now. And we forget about the most important thing, which is focus on the really, truly important things in our lives. Family, God, and the love that we have for others. That is what God wants us to do. Jesus Christ always said, when you visit me in prison, visit somebody in prison, you visit me. When you came and took care of a sick person, like the Good Samaritan. And that reminds me of nurses. I have a special love for nurses. Those ones that are, many who took care of me, and I appreciate them, men and women, but mostly they're women. And you have a great gift, and you worked hard to do what you do. And you do the dirty work of the doctors. The doctors come in and they leave and give their opinion, but you come and do all the stuff that needs to be done.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for nurses. Maybe one day we'll do one podcast talking about nurses. And we have some friends that some of them are retired, and maybe we'll bring them on because I appreciate them. And I can see you who has the gift to be a nurse. You do it for love.
Yeah.
You don't do it for the money. You don't get paid well. The same way teachers and others that serve in the community don't get paid for what they do, but they do it with love, and our hearts go out to you.
Yep.
And we appreciate you. So stay tuned next time.
Sorry, we got a little bit, I don't know, we didn't prepare this, but yeah, we'll see you in the next
Episode.
So don't forget, what are they supposed to be doing?
Subscribing and like it. So
And
we
hit
can
the
go
bell.
live soon.
Yeah.
And we can get more guests around, on board.
And
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Welcome to your perfect South Florida getaway, a charming Spanish colonial home designed for comfort, relaxation, and adventure. This beautiful 3-bedroom, 2-bath home features a full kitchen, spacious living areas, and a large patio, perfect for lounging under the Florida sun, with plenty of space to bring your boat. Love the ocean? 2 marinas are just 20 to 25 minutes away, perfect for deep-sea fishing and water adventures. You'll be minutes from world-famous destinations like Everglades National Park, Biscayne National Park, the beautiful Florida Keys, Fruit and Spice Park, and Homestead Miami Speedway, all surrounded by the lush agricultural beauty of the Redland area. And when you stay here, you're also close to unique local experiences. Explore underwater paradise at John Pennekamp Coral Reef State Park. Enjoy legendary tropical milkshakes at Robert Is Here Food Stand. Or relax just steps away at the newly renovated Helen Sands Pool, featuring lap lanes, water slides, and family splash areas. Whether you're here for fishing, adventure, or relaxation, this home is your gateway to it all. Book your unforgettable Florida escape